Hey, what's up guys? Sanch here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about bodybuilding, military fitness, and supplementation. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, make sure you guys stay tuned. Today we're going to be talking about progressive overload and how that's going to be affecting your training, and also how to break plateaus in the gym. So if you're interested, make sure you guys stay tuned. All right guys, I'm just about to hit some back. I'm really excited. I'm feeling really good today. Pre-workout is bumping. We're ready to go, ready to kill it. Super excited. One of our subscribers recently asked me, how do you break your plateaus? So for an example, if you're confused, if you're benching, say 305 for a few reps, and you've been doing this for week in, week out, years in, years out, and you can't get past that, what are some techniques that you can use to break that plateau? So that's what we're gonna be talking about in this video. For some people that don't know what progressive overload is pretty much gradually increasing in volume, intensity, frequency, or time to achieve a target goal. Pretty much you got 4 different things, right? Volume, intensity, frequency, and time. And we're gonna break down each one of those individually. So volume. Volume, for me, I would consider how much can you lift? Like what do you bench, bro? The number of reps or the number of sets. I would say for that honestly, ever since I was in high school, really, even doing the Bigger, Faster, Stronger program for football, one of the number one ways that we were able to use progressive overload and to break down your program to get through plateaus was to be changing up your reps, pretty much. If you're going to start off with what's a traditional rep range, 3 sets of 12 or 4 sets of 10, if you've been doing that forever, maybe you want to incorporate something like a power day. Like what I do sometimes is I'll do 3 sets of 3, or 4 sets of 4, do something like that. Or if you're trying to get like your 1 rep max, you could do something like a 10 rep 8 6 4 1. Use those higher range rep sets to warm up and get towards that 1 rep max, and then you could use that to figure out your perceived exertion. What's the wordage? There's such smart people on YouTube. Like, that's the goal, man. That's the goal, to get there. But pretty much you figure out what your 1 rep max is, and then you can use that to like actually get percentages and figure out, okay, so I'm gonna hit 80% of my 1 rep max today, or I'm gonna hit 3 sets of 70% of my 1 rep max today, and you can use that to really break through plateaus. And that's pretty much that's how you can use volume training and manipulating your reps and your ranges to break through plateaus and achieve a new PR. Number 2, all right, intensity. How hard you lift when you go in the gym. How hard are you yelling? How hard are you pacing back and forth? That's obviously a joke, but really how hard you're lifting, the intensity of your workouts. Are you feeling completely exhausted at the end of the exercise? Are you hitting that point at 10 or 12 reps where you can't get one more? Like, that's pretty much what you're going to be wanting to get with your maximum intensity. Also, some little tips and tricks using half reps. I feel like if you use half reps, that's going to help increase your intensity because you're decreasing the range of motion. So really you can add more weight, you can do more reps, you can work out longer. It's a great tool you could use, half repping, as long as you're using it in a safe way, good form, of course. Also, I think something that a lot of people would use, especially personal trainers, I've noticed, is putting an emphasis on the eccentric and decentric movements of an exercise. In layman terms, for bro terms, the amount of time it takes you for the bar or whatever you're doing for the up and the down. One of my trainers that I was working with, he helped me a lot, was he would say 2 seconds down and 2 seconds up. And that actually would blast me. And that, even though you've been working out forever and you're used to doing things, if you add that one little tip, or really any of these tips, if you add these into your exercises, into your routines, into your programs, you're gonna see a difference. It's gonna do something for you. Definitely would recommend putting an emphasis on the eccentric and the decentric movement, and half repping in reference to intensity for breaking your plateaus. Number 3, frequency. Frequency is probably the Taj Mahal of all of these. How often do you lift? And number one, as soon as I said that, I know you thought, how often do you lift? So bench, chest day. How many chest days do I do a week? How many times do I deadlift a week? How many times do I do legs? How many times do you do legs a week? All right. These are the things you got to think about. If you're only working out 3 days a week, you're doing 1 push day, 1 pull day, and 1 leg day, maybe you could increase your intensity. Maybe you could increase your frequency by lifting more often. Maybe you're doing bro splits, chest, legs, shoulders, arms, and back. Like that's a traditional bro split. It's been so long since I've done bro splits. I do miss it. I do miss it. But honestly, frequency is going to be a big one. If you guys can incorporate, like I said, if you're only doing 3 days a week, maybe double that up. Maybe do 6 days a week where you're hitting each movement twice a week instead of just once a week. That could definitely help you get through those plateaus. And honestly, it's been a huge improvement for me, is working out each body part twice a week. And last but not least, number 4, time. How long do you lift? The first thing that comes to my mind, besides how long you lift in the gym, is how long you're actually lifting the weight. How much time you're under tension. How much time you're putting your muscles under that weight. Actually, something I learned recently, something called the MASH method, is actually using static holds at higher weight than your 1 rep max to allow your central nervous system and your whole body and all the joints and ligaments to actually turn on and activate so that you're able actually to lift heavier. Check that out, try that out. MASH method. We talked about static holds. Also, something to incorporate when you're thinking about time and how long you're lifting is using pause reps. When you're actually, I always use bench because everyone benches, right? When you're benching and you go all the way down to the bottom, holding it at the bottom, allowing all the momentum to go away. It's going to help in a lot of different ways with incorporating more muscle fibers, incorporating more stability muscles when you're moving that bar. So definitely try out pause reps when you're thinking about time under tension and how long you're actually lifting. Last but not least, I know I said it earlier, but the last one for time is going to be structured rest times between sets. So how long you're resting between each exercise. Or you could get even more minute, even more specific, is how long you spend between each set. Typically, I think with most of my programming, it's about 60 seconds. 45 to 60 seconds between each set. So you get done exercising, you drop those dumbbells lightly, or put them away if you're a stud. 45 to 60 seconds after that 1 minute or so of exercising, and then you come back. Now, something you can incorporate, and you could even, just a tiny little tweak to increase, honestly, it's actually going to increase your intensity as well. You could put this in either category, time or intensity. Well, shit, you could put it in frequency too if you want. Decreasing the amount of rest time. So go from 45, go to 30. Or superset it, don't even have any rest time and go from a bench and then do some push-ups. That's a great way to help break through some plateaus. It's tricking your body, like Arnold said, tricking the muscles into doing something it's not you normally used to doing. All of them are great options. All of them are great ideas that you guys can use personally with your programs to break through plateaus. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Super stressful for me. Doing these kind of structured videos for me is definitely a huge challenge, but I do enjoy getting them done. I enjoy bringing that content to you guys. It's good information and it needs to be said. And sometimes it's nice just to hear a bro, just a normal guy with shitty genetics talk about, how different ways to make yourself better. And I've used all of this. I've used all of these things. Changing up your reps and sets. I've done that even with like my own programs where I'm typing it on Excel. I've used that. I've used eccentric and decentric movements, using the time between 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up. All this stuff is things that I've used personally to make myself better, stronger, healthier. You know, that's the goal. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are new, consider subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys enjoyed this style of content, consider liking. Besides that, guys, thank you so much for stopping, and I'll see you guys in the next one.